what is prison really for? Is it something to punish people who have done bad things in our society?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it supposed to be a rehabilitation center?
Rehab type
So
thing.
people, hey, they get punished for whatever they did, they come back and they reincorporate into our society.
We live?
We live.
We live. Welcome back to the Opinion Factory podcast, the podcast for free thinkers and challenge seekers.
Yes, sir.
I'm Khelil.
I'm Alex. Hope you had a good Labor Day weekend, man.
It was good.
Been a pretty violent one in the city. Several shootings.
That's not good.
Several stabbings.
That's worse.
Seems to happen frequently during long weekends in any city, really.
When it's hot, yeah.
And some of the people suspected of committing these crimes are repeat offenders. So gang affiliations,
No surprise there.
drug connections, armed robbery connections, murder suspects. Those are some of the people, gun charges, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those are some of the people that are suspected of just committing some of them, not all of them, but just some of them.
Right.
And it got me thinking, what is prison really for? Is it something to punish people who have done bad things in our society?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it supposed to be a rehabilitation center?
Rehab type
So
thing.
people, hey, they get punished for whatever they did, they come back and they reincorporate into our society.
Ideally, well, obviously me and you have an idea of what it should be, but we're not making money off of it. And so if you want to make money off of it, I feel like you're not really going to want to rehabilitate prisoners.
All right, so
You're going to want them to come back, like a hotel.
I feel like there's more. All right, that goes to another point, but we'll get back to that point later. We'll get back to the money making point later. But like, what I'm just asking you, what do you think it should be, right? Like, what do you think it should be, like punishment plus rehab or punishment? Like, does it have like you know what I'm saying?
I feel like it depends on the type, the crime that you committed and the severity of it, and maybe also if I know you.
That's fine.
You know what I mean? If
Hey, free my guy. He killed 10 people, but free my guy. I got you, bro. Free Ross, bro. He killed 10 people, but that's my guy. He good, bro.
I hate seeing that shit. But like if there's a dude in jail and he raped this woman, I would like to see him thrown away in a dark hole and probably fed twice a day. That's it.
Okay.
Right? There's no humanity in that. There's no compassion. No chance of rehabilitation for that man at all. If I had it my way. But let's change one thing about it. Say like it was my cousin. Right? And now he's saying the same thing that I was like, I messed up. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I forced it. It was a bad night. All this shit was going on. It was my cousin. Like, you know what? Go to jail. Do your time. Pay your debt. Get out. Be a better man. This other dude.
I mean, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I know.
It's hard,
There's no
but you want to see your family do better. But when it's not, when it's a stranger, throw that man away or throw that woman away.
I just feel like my problem is it just doesn't feel like prison really rehabs people, or not the success of like other places.
I don't feel like that's its intention. That's how we want it to be, but the reality of prison.
No, but I also want it to be punishment too, though. Like if you did some fucked up shit, you should still go away.
But the punishment is your loss of freedom. That should be the punishment in itself, shouldn't it? Not like further cruelty, further. You know what I mean?
No, none of that. But like, let's say for example, if you killed not if you killed somebody, if you shot somebody or you committed an armed robbery, right?
Mm-hmm.
You would go to like a maximum or like high security prison.
Okay. Why?
All right, I'll explain this real quick. The difference between security, the levels of minimum, medium, like low, medium, all that stuff to max, is just it's really the staff to prisoner ratio. So minimum security, you're looking at people that like drunk driving or petty theft, like minor offenses. No real signs are gonna be a violent or troublesome inmate, right? Usually lighter sentences.
Right.
Your lower minimum prison.
Right. So that's like
minimum
probably
security,
2 guards per prisoner or something like that.
And then as you go up, when you're dealing with more troublesome people, you're gonna need more
security, of course. Security, obviously,
right?
more like 10 guards per person.
Yeah. So you're gonna have, that's the difference. I feel like my problem is, right, the people in low and even medium that are security prisons that are going away for something like petty theft, or like maybe some type of fraud or scam they ran that didn't work out, or like some.
I mean, what was the severity of that scam though?
It depends, but let's say like they're a credit card scammer, like one of those people that just like goes to, like
all
freaking.
Right, so they
like,
didn't take my pension.
No, they're going to like
all
Macy's and like trying to rip them off like $50 on credit cards and shit like that.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like shit like that, right? They're a credit card scammer, like a low credit card scammer, right? If it's like that, I mean, I don't feel like you should, because the problem with the rehab, it's not only that you lose your freedom, whatever. When you come back in society, like how does society treat you? You gotta sign boxes that say you gotta sign boxes that have been a prisoner. Now you're stripped from job opportunities and college opportunities. So like, where's the rehab in this? Not only in the prison system itself, but afterwards.
That's something that I was hoping we'd get to that later, like, because a lot of times, when people go to jail and they're treated harshly, kind of like what I said earlier, people on the outside, like me and you, tend to say, well, they get what they deserve, right? But then there's also another question: what do we deserve? What does society deserve? And I feel like if this person messed up, they caused harm to society. When they get out, they should be given the opportunity to do good to society. They owe it to us. That's what we deserve, right? And so when they get out and then they can't get a job, you know what I'm saying? They can't get any apartments, probably.
Yeah, so what the hell are you going to do?
Right. And so all you can do is go back to what you did to get in jail in the first place. And not only are they caught in this cycle and they're not really getting what they deserve, but we're also missing out on what could have been a productive member of society after a rehabilitative process. And we're just shooting ourselves in the foot with this whole, I mean, I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get it. Like, you might want to know if someone is a felon, if you have like a grocery store, to see if they would steal from you or whatever. But if we had faith in the prison system, if we had confidence that the prison system was rehabilitative, I don't feel like it would impact hiring choices that much. Because don't you want to be able to say, you went to jail, now I know you learned your lesson, and I know you're not going to do that no more?
You would, but I feel like there's so many people. Like, if you're a business owner, why would you take that chance on me, though? Like, if you're an employer, you have 2 candidates. One's from jail that has in jail for theft. The other guy's just a clean record out of high school or college. Like, what's
take
the point?
Clean record
Exactly
over the jail, but
exactly.
you wouldn't completely disqualify the felon and just wait for more applicants while you have none. I don't think.
I think it depends.
And what if the guy who went to jail has more experience in this field?
Still, is it worth the risk? I think that's the thing.
If we have faith in the system, then it would be worth the risk.
I think we're also responsible too. I'm not an employee, but if we would still have that bias where it's like, hey, this guy went to jail for this, or this guy went to jail for that. I'm not going to trust him near my business. And that's a fair thing to say. I just don't understand how these people are then going to become productive members of our society.
So if you owned a business, let's say you had a grocery store,
yes.
You were fairly successful, right? Like, not fairly. Let's say you were one of Walgreens or whatever. And this guy comes, he has 13 years of customer service experience.
Okay, cool.
He went to jail for a year for petty theft. And he told you in an interview, I see you went to jail. He's like, you know what? Yes, I stole diapers for my baby. All right. I was broke. Me and my girl, we couldn't do it, but we don't want the baby to suffer. I had to steal diapers. They caught me. I resisted arrest. I fought. I had a kid at home. I definitely didn't want to go to jail.
Okay, cool.
Escalated. I went to jail. Did a year. Came out. Now I need a job.
Okay, cool.
You trust that guy? You have another candidate, fresh out of high school, no customer service experience, also no criminal history.
But will those be my only candidates, though? I mean, in this hypothetical situation...
Let's take that to be your only candidates.
If they're my only candidates, then, I mean, I feel like they would still be that fair. Honestly,
you would take the high school graduate?
What is my chances, though? Like, this guy stole... Like, I think if you're a business owner, especially for someone who stole something, in the back of your mind, like, this dude stealing stuff, it's like, oh, do I need...
What's the thief? What was the thief?
Do I need... I mean, that's going to be the mentality, though. You know? So
you believe that?
It really depends on situations, man.
And if I was a business owner,
bro,
I would like to think
if someone stole from you, you're not going to trust them again.
But they didn't steal from me. And it also depends on why they're stealing. We spoke about this, man.
It does depend why they're stealing, right? It does depend why they're
This
stealing.
man stole diapers for his baby.
That's cool. But what if he didn't steal diapers for his baby? What if he just stole diapers? What if he just stole?
What if that was a lie?
Yeah, well, if that was a lot, like I feel like you might even be questioning that. Like, it's a slippery slope, bro. But all I'm saying is,
You wouldn't take someone who murdered someone. There's obviously
no, yeah, there's exceptions. But even
should you though?
But this is my problem. This is the point I'm getting at. This is the point I'm getting at with this whole spiel about this, right? The point I'm getting at is that we classify all these people in the same way as ex-cons, ex-prisoners, right? So
Right.
even if the guy did just go to jail for petty theft, like, oh, you went to jail, I'm not dealing with you. This guy can went to jail for fraud. The next person go to jail for resisting arrest. The next person go to jail for gun charge, drug charge, like a weed, like he had like 7 ounces of weed on him. Like you're just gonna look at him like, oh
Man.
he's a drug. Like most people just look at him.
Facts.
And so that's what I'm saying. Like
But
they're all clumped together. It's not like just one guy went for murder, the next guy went for theft, the one guy went for robbery. They're all clumped together.
If we had a system in place, I'm gonna say, if we had a system in place where if someone goes to jail, we knew that they were being educated, they were being, they had to take mandatory classes or courses or whatever they had to do, these communities, like mandatory, like look at other countries.
Yeah.
Right. I've seen, this was a while ago, my memory's kind of hazy. I've seen stories of other countries, I think it was Switzerland or Germany, and they showed the prison cells compared to the U.S. prison cells.
Yeah.
And in the other countries, like the cells were nice. They had a nice little bed. It was clean. It was white. It looked like it was well taken care of. A lot of space.
Okay.
Nice bright window.
Yep.
In the U.S., not the case at all. I'll just say that. Like you didn't see that at all. And some of the discussions underneath that post was that, well, in these countries, prison is meant to be rehab versus punishment, because they're trying to turn people. They're not going to treat them like animals.
Yeah.
Which is another thing. The preservation of humanity. Like when you treat these people like they're animals, when they get out, and that's all they've known about themselves for like the past 2 years, what are they going to do?
That is fact, but you also have to keep in mind how much people the U.S. imprisons per year. Like the U.S. imprisons the most people per year by far.
By far.
It's like 300K like plus. That's like a lot. Like no matter how big the population is, that's a lot of people, bro.
What was that the documents, the prison population of the world, like I think it was like 20% of it is made up by the U.S. alone.
And like you see like a lot of his drug charges, war on drugs, all that type of stuff. But if you like, is that even possible to do with just that many people though? Like if you're in Sweden or another country like that, you're not imprisoning that many people.
But
so could we do that for 300,000, 400,000 people that's in jail right now?
Well, if the goal of jail or prison was to be rehab, then we wouldn't have that many people in there to begin with. I don't feel like the fact that prison is meant to be punishment, and cruel is used as a tool. Like look, you brought up the war on drugs.
Yeah.
A lot of people went to jail for just having weed on them. Right. And we look at what's happening now with the opiate crisis. These people are not going to jail because we want to help these people. We want to treat and rehabilitate these people because they have this opiate crisis.
Or because they're white, but you continue.
Right.
Continue.
We're getting to that.
Yeah, keep going.
But with the war on drugs, we wanted to punish this group of people, so we send them to prison. Right? And so if our focus was on rehabilitation, less people will be in prison. And when they're in prison, the conditions will be better.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that's fair. I see what you're saying. So, my concern. Well, one point I want to bring up is you look at the drug rates across all races. It's all fairly similar.
I would imagine so.
Like white people's like
I feel like white people do the most drugs.
The numbers are relatively the same, right? No, but like the numbers like weed smokers, alcohol drinkers, freaking yeah. I think when you get into more exotic and like.
LSD.
Like whoa, like chill out.
That's like the white people.
Then there's some like disparity, right? But the numbers are relatively the same. They incarcerate more black and brown people. Mm-hmm. Well documented facts. We know this. I don't think we'll ever look at prison as a rehab thing though. Just from a country standpoint, it's gonna be think about this, right? For like the countries like we think about like healthcare. It's like, why am I paying for someone else's healthcare through my taxes? I can pay for my own. Like I feel like
that's just selfishness.
I feel like it's the same thing with the rehab thing, though.
Why should I pay for this criminals?
Yeah, it's like if you have you have an addiction, that's not my business. That's your business.
Well, it will become my business when you stab my cousin on the street. Because you can't find a job.
If it gets to that level,
it is at that level. All these violence all that violence that happened over the weekend.
Yeah.
Suspected by repeat offenders.
Okay.
No, if you had given them, if you had paid your tax money for their rehabilitation, then maybe we wouldn't have.
People don't want that.
As many dead people
like, see,
right
this
now.
is the thing I'm telling you about though. They'll just want more punishment. So yes, it might not work, but what I'm saying is like if that happens, right, the mindset will not be, oh, let's rehab this person. The mindset will be like, never let this person out again. Do you see that? Like, so it's like don't let this person out. Like, oh, this guy's gonna do this type of shit. Oh, he's a drug addict. He can't be trusted. Keep him in jail.
Really?
That's how we've been doing it.
Well, if they're
like that's how we've been doing it, bro.
You're talking about like well, that made me think of mandatory minimum, but that's a different point.
Like
that's just selfishness, bro.
If we're just talking about from a purely philosophical perspective, which is what I'm trying to like get at right here, like I think it should be a mixture of both, though. Right? I don't want the people. It now depends on the defense. Like I can't. No sole person should be in charge of determining what punishment the person faces. I feel like.
I agree with that.
Like I'll do the same shit with rapists too, or like pedophiles. I'll be like,
oh.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I feel like
would not be fair at all.
Yeah. That's my point.
Who would be? Would you really want a pedophile? That's the thing. Would you want a pedophile sympathizer on your court? Someone said, well, we should really give these guys...
No, but I would need someone...
We would need that.
No, right. But I would need someone, not a pedophile sympathizer, but I need, like, a humanitarian on my court.
That's not a pedophile sympathizer, yeah, right? I was being harsh. That's fucked up.
I need a humanitarian on my court and coming through like, yeah, we can't do this shit. Like, we can't lock this guy in a white room full of white space by himself in white clothes just to make him go crazy.
That's horrible.
You know what I'm saying?
But if you were raping kids, you know what you get? You get what you deserve.
I 100% agree with you, which is why we cannot have we need to have humanitarians on this as well. Like it just can't be people like, oh, there's punishment. There needs to be something. Even if these people do get locked away forever, right? Is the punishment just their loss of freedom and they're in this cell forever? Like, is that enough punishment for you?
For me,
because like you said, it depends on the crime now. Like if you have a
yes.
murderer or you have like the Boston bomber, right? Is his punishment locked in a cell? Is that good enough for you? Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's better than death, because then everything is done with after like what, 3 hours? Nah.
But you think about the harm he's caused. He's facing. Like his loss of freedom is big, but it's like nowhere near the level of damage he inflicted.
No, but we can never get near the damage. Like even if we kill him, it won't be anywhere near the damage he inflicted. We can't ever repay that, but he will suffer more if he stayed alive in that cell.
Yeah, but what's his suffering though? His suffering is that he just can't, like, I don't want to say he just can't leave, but he can't.
He has no freedom. He has no control of his faculties. Like he can't do anything that he wants to do when he wants to do. Like I told you this before in the Batman episode. The Batman Joker episode, there's prisoners on death row saying, just kill us already, because being alive indefinitely in this prison.
But those are people that know they're going to die, though. These other people at first in life.
So maybe we should put them on death row and just never kill them.
I don't know if we'll get that humanitarian thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you have humanitarians, you're like, you can't do that. It's like, oh, hey, buddy, we'll kill you tomorrow. Sorry, we'll come back, and they just never do it,
bro.
Like, can you imagine, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying?
His cell every day with the doctor with the needle. Like, you know what? There's an issue here, so we'll come back tomorrow. Every single day. That would be horrible.
That would be horrible. But that's what I'm saying. It's just like, depending on the crime, is there certain like I'm sure as you go up to security prison, like you get less free time and stuff like that. But it's just the loss of freedom enough punishment for some of these heinous crimes committed. So that's what I'm talking about. Like if there's, I think we both agree there's people that cannot be rehabbed, right? Like I have no interest in rehabbing a murderer. If it's like
a serial killer,
if it's like clear first degree murder, like I woke up today, I plan on killing this dude across the street. I have no interest in rehabbing.
Well, I mean, I could see how that person could turn around though. They could have some anger issues. They could have had some mental disability. There could be a number of reasons why you commit first degree murder. And
if a person like me just woke up one day and like, yo, I'm gonna kill this dude across my street, I have no interest in rehabbing you, bro.
I would like to rehabilitate that person. I'm a humanitarian in that case. There you go.
You rehab him after how long?
What do you mean?
Like, what's his punishment? How long is he going to jail?
Well, he's gonna go to jail for, I don't know, 13, 15 years. But during that time,
13, 15 years?
what's the regular for first degree murder?
25 to life.
Oh, is it? Let's do that. Let's do.
Man said
I don't know.
15 years, bro?
I don't know. That seems like a long time to me. You can learn your lesson in 15 years. That's plenty of time to learn a lesson.
That's not enough punishment.
That's a very long class.
That's not enough punishment for me, bro.
That's a very long lesson.
That's all good, bro.
A 15-year lesson is a very long lesson, man.
I pop out today. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna kill your brother.
And then you lose 15 years of your life.
Yeah.
And during those 15 years, I am teaching you.
I'll do 15 to kill your brother. It's all good. Smooth. That's all good.
You might think that now.
15 years?
You might think that now.
Ooh, boy. 15 years.
15 years is nothing to sneeze at, bro.
15 years?
15 years.
Come on, bro.
That's a long lesson, man.
Not that long, bro.
What?
15 years.
Imagine if you had a child and you didn't see him for 15 years. How much did you miss?
15 years for first degree murder?
15 years to learn a lesson.
So is there more punishment after you learn this lesson? What's going on here?
See, we're just looking for punishment. That's not the goal.
There needs to be a level of punishment, bro.
Well, you lost your freedom for 15 years. You didn't see your kid grow up for 15 years. You lost contact. Your mom died while you were in here and you couldn't go because you did this thing. You were punished.
I don't know.
And all this while you were learning a lesson. After a 15-year lesson, I say now, Alex, I trust you to go out there with everything that I've instilled upon you and no longer kill people because you feel like it.
15 years.
You don't think that's enough time to learn something?
You can learn something there. 15 years though, like you took someone's life and you're getting 15 years. I can't fade.
It's not just about punishing.
Cannot fade. There has to be.
It's not just about punishing.
There's a combination. Okay, so sure you can be rehabbed, but you have to go for a long period of time.
And during that period of time, the taxpayers are paying for all your courses, all that stuff, for your cell space, for everything. And then after that, you know, even if you could, like right now, you're doing 25 to life, and there's no focus on rehab. So we just paid, as the citizens of this country, we just paid for your stay, your 25-year stay. You get out, you learn nothing. You kill someone else, another member of our society, and now you go back for another 25, maybe life. Yeah. What was the point of that?
The point of that is this person can't be a productive member of our society.
Who said that?
What do you mean?
He killed someone, so now all of his skills, all of his knowledge, everything that makes up who he is now useless?
Yes.
I don't believe that.
He can't be trusted anymore.
That's not true.
What do you mean it's not true? He can't be trusted anymore.
That's not true at all.
Bro.
I don't feel like that's true at all.
Come on, man. Trusting killers?
Obviously, it depends. Serial killers, if you woke up on multiple days and you premeditated multiple attacks.
Bro, my neighbor pissed me off yesterday. I'm gonna go there tomorrow and kill him. Like, come on, bro.
I would try to rehabilitate you, man.
All right, man.
Call me crazy.
15 years? All right.
Okay, maybe more than you hung up on this 15-year thing.
That's very low, bro. I'm hung up on the 15 years because there needs to be a mix between punishment and it just can't just be only rehab, bro.
You feel like 15 years with no freedom is not enough punishment for taking a life.
No, it's not. And I don't want the whole episode to come about this 15 years thing. I'm just talking about the point. There needs to be a mix of both. I don't think it can just be only rehab because there has to be consequences for the action that the person is taking.
So what if it's 15 years in prison,
okay,
but then a mandatory life of servitude? Like, what if after you go to jail, there's certain jobs, only a certain amount of jobs you can do as a felon?
I mean, there already is.
Is there? Like, is there like a list of jobs felons can do?
Yeah, you can't become like a police officer or a doctor.
Well, I feel like okay, sure. That's an exclusion list. I want an inclusion list. You can only be a garbage collector. You can only be a janitor. You can only be.
Wait, like, so to become a garbage collector, you would have to be a felon.
No, but you can only be that if you are a felon. You can still be a garbage collector if you're not a felon. But if you are a felon, you have this list of jobs that you can do, and the garbage collector is one of them.
Doesn't that go back to the thing we just talked about, where it's like we have so many of them, and there's not enough jobs for all of them?
Them's the breaks. That's everyone. That's everyone in society. You could apply for anything
but
as a non-felon.
These are like some of the violent people that I know are gonna be destructive.
We don't know that. We rehab them. And our prisons, depending on the state or the facility, should be judged and given money depending on the number or the rate of repeat offenders. If 75% of the people who went to your prison come back, I'm not giving you more money.
But you have to also look at why they're coming back, though.
Because you didn't do a good job of rehabilitating them.
But all the other people also have biases that they don't want to hire felons.
But if we had a good system if the other people that you're speaking of had trust in our system, then they would take that chance.
Would you trust in the system more? Like, how much trust would you have in the system? Like, there's still an unnecessary risk I don't have to take.
To begin with, to end the cycle, someone's going to have to take the risk to begin with.
No, really? I mean, maybe if I'm like a fast food employee or something like that. If I have a decent job, if it's a grocery store, if I'm only in a grocery store, I have options between candidates. Why would I take the risk on a felon? This is not,
so he doesn't go back to stabbing people.
It's not just the jail's fault, though. I'm saying it's also like employers' fault.
You take the chance so he doesn't go back to stabbing people.
How about?
What else can he do? He hears a felon and he's trying to better his life.
I mean, like maybe we add incentives to employers to take chances on you know, and give them extra insurance if they damage or like something like that.
There you go.
I mean,
they owe it to society. They took a life. They should repay that debt more than just going away.
I'm talking about regular prisons, not like the
not the murderers.
Not the extreme ones.
You don't want the murderers to pay back his debt by giving something good back to us. You took a life, so now for the rest of your life, you gotta serve me somehow.
It would depend on the circumstance. If you just woke up one day like I'm gonna do could piss me off today.
I feel like because if you were very sane before and this thought just entered your head and you acted on it out of impulse, I would try to help you. You're a piece of shit, but I'll try to help you so you're not a piece of shit no more.
Hey, I mean, you're a good guy.
If you were a pedophile,
I just think
if you just woke up and like this kid's looking really thick right now, like nah.
This man's sick.
Nah, I'm sorry. You gotta go.
I mean, yeah,
you gotta go, bro.
So I mean, we both have our points, and it's both like people we're not gonna rehab.
But you know what? If someone came in and was like, you know what, this pedophile.
No.
That's tough. That's tough. That's really tough, bro.
No, I'm not gonna let you finish that sentence.
That's hard.
No.
That's hard. I don't know if I want to finish that sentence. I don't want to say that out loud.
We not doing that here, man. No.
So what do we do with this person? Like, if we can't say we want prisoners to be rehabilitated so they don't commit their crimes. Like, I don't want you to go on raping kids anymore. I also want you to do some good in the world. I just don't want you anywhere near me or mine or anyone else's.
So,
join the Space Force. Fuck, get out of it. I don't know, bro. You can be the pioneers to Mars. How about that? You be the first ones we try to see if living on Mars works.
Is that not cruel and unusual punishment?
No, fuck it. You know, that's serving us. That's serving the greater good.
We can't have, this gets back to something else I wanted to get to. And this was the private prisons thing that you mentioned, right? You mentioned the private prisons, and you mentioned that, governments have, like state governments have incentives to put people in jail.
Right.
Like there's private prisons that can literally charge the state money
for every empty cell.
Yes.
Right.
It's freaking crazy, right? And there's also corporations that benefit off prison labor, which under the 14th Amendment, I believe, is
13th, I think.
Yeah, it's 13th or 14th Amendment. I'll make sure to put a graphic in here. That still allows
slavery.
Yeah, as long as it's like some type of felonious response or something.
Yes.
Right. So like one example is easy, like you had the volunteer firefighters that were
in
California. Well, like I bet you some of them were volunteer. I bet you because they were also able to get time taken off their sentences. But at the same time, it's like these people are risking their lives and getting paid 2 cents an hour.
But I mean, they're also paying back a debt. They're not. You shouldn't be doing it to get paid at that point. If you were a murderer or a pedophile,
can you be doing both though? Like, how is there an incentive to put you in jail? And now I'm capitalizing off you putting people in jail.
If you owe me, I'm not gonna pay you for going to work so you can pay me back.
I don't know, I feel like it's wrong. Like you're benefiting off people, because now these people might not even deserve to be in jail, right? You're putting in people, like you have to find ways to fill cells or you're gonna get taxed.
Oh, but I thought we were talking okay, so the way that it happened was wrong. Yeah. You're saying, but if it was a case where the people who had to fight the fires were like the really like maximum security type.
But what if they weren't? What if they're just like moderate or medium? Like even
right,
if,
that's probably wrong.
I feel like prison labor should still be like prison labor can't be 2 cents an hour. And I'm like a company like GE or something. I'm not saying GE does prison labor. There's a list of companies that use prison labor.
Mm-hmm.
We'll put them in the description. They're using prison labor and they're capitalizing the office and it's like, oh, you're paying 2 cents an hour. Oh, now like, oh, hey, we're helping this guy repay his debt to society. That doesn't sit right with me, bro.
That doesn't make sense to you?
It doesn't sit right with me though. It just seems like these people are capitalizing off prison labor, bro. That doesn't sit right with me.
They can be abused. That it's very easy to abuse that.
It doesn't sit right with me, man.
And I can see you just want to. I mean, how can you abuse it if they work like 13-hour days and that's crazy. But like if you work 5 hours a day and they don't get paid for it because you're in jail, like I'm cool with that.
I don't know, man.
If the point of you being here is to repay your debt to society and to become a better person.
Yeah, isn't that the rehab? So why is my labor also being profited?
Yeah, you work 4 hours a day, then you get
how is that
courses and your programs for 4 hours a day.
How is that part of my rehab? Isn't the courses and programs part of my rehab?
But there's punishment and rehabilitation.
Yes, but why is my prison? So is that punishment or rehab?
That part is punishment. I feel
Isn't the punishment already losing my freedom and not being able to?
Well, you wanted more punishment.
It depends on who it is. I'm not like if you're a guy who just did like a moderate crime or a non-violent offense. Like I don't want people profiting off your prison labor.
I think okay, so that gets into more detail. Like what type of jobs open up depending on what type of maximum or level of security that you're in. If you're in minimum security, you're not going to be like breaking rocks and singing the railroad song. Like that's not right. Or fighting fires in California. Maybe you stitch or you knit or you make or you go to a factory and you help make cars or whatever for free. I don't know, but I still feel like you're not. I don't feel like you're owed money for what you do in prison if the goal is to pay back a debt. Why would I pay you for doing work to pay me back?
The debt though, the debt. How are you quantifying the debt?
It's a quote unquote.
So if you're quantifying the debt, then don't pay me at all. But if I'm doing labor for a company, bro, I deserve to be paid.
But you're also doing labor for this company because you did this really fucked up shit. You did this messed up thing, and now we all agree that you need to do something in service of the greater good, whether that be making cars, whether that be, knitting comforters and blankets or what have you. You're gonna be doing it for a particular company.
Yes, I agree with you.
Why
does it have to be for company? Why can't it be for the state though? Like why is my labor like I don't know like freaking repair something whatever.
That's construction.
Whatever.
There's gonna be a company behind that.
No, bro. My problem I have is that now we have private prisons, right? Incentivizing people to go to jail. And now there's private companies also coming in with those people who probably shouldn't be in jail because they're being forced.
Yes.
And now they're able to profit off that labor. That can't sit right with me,
That's messed up because now the private prisons are intentionally getting as many people in jail as possible just so that they have free labor for these companies.
Companies coming in, and
right? Just so they have free labor for the companies, and that's not right. And I don't think free labor should not be the reason why you want people in prison.
And I don't think that, and just because that's a known fact, I don't think people should be 0.02 cents an hour for prison work.
What, like $5 an hour?
Something. Yeah, something. So it's like, hey, you've been doing work. Here's your fund that you've worked on all these years. So when you get out of jail, you got a spot to sleep at now. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like that's how it should be. Like, okay, now the state doesn't even have to cover that. If these companies want to come in and use prison labor, now they have to pay these guys, and now those guys, that turns into their rehab for them. It shouldn't be I'm paying you 0.02 cents as a part of your debt to repay because I'm already repaying my debt with with my time here, and we agree that the rehab are like teaching programs and all these other things that can turn people into a productive member of society, like show them why they're wrong, put them in classes and colleges, like and courses, all that type of like that's where it should be. I can't have the private prisons and companies come in here and capitalize off this.
When you mentioned the fact that they can use it to set themselves up after they leave, that flipped the switch for me, because I'm thinking like when you get paid in prison, like I saw a clip of a documentary and what they would want the money for is like vending machines, phone calls, whatever, like things in prison. But if you can work and save up that money,
you talking about commissary though? That's kind of different though.
But I thought that's what they were using the money for. And I
I
thought
mean,
that was why.
it does.
But if they have enough now to save, and so after 25 years to life or whatever you do, you get out, you now have a nice $10,000 nest egg. You can get a spot for, depends on where you are.
Yeah,
of course.
But
you can get it like a 1-year lease.
You have the problem with the reoffenders is not only because, like we talked about, it's not only because like they haven't been rehabbed. It's okay, even if they haven't been rehabbed, they might have come to the conclusion like what I did was messed up and it got me here.
Mm-hmm.
You come to that conclusion on your own. The punishment might have been the rehab for them already.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have nowhere to go. My parole officer sucks. My probation officer sucks. You know what I'm saying? Like I have no. Like I'm gonna be homeless. Where do I sleep? Do I sleep at the halfway house?
And that's another thing. You mentioned that because a lot of homeless people go to jail just so they have a roof over their heads.
I mean, you get free healthcare. You get free housing.
There you go.
Like, yeah, it can suck, but
and so now if you go to prison and now you get paid for the work that you do, and now you're not homeless when you get out.
I mean that. I don't want that to be solution. I don't want that to be a solution. Yeah,
right, but it's a fucked up.
But I mean, like it's
process.
There's people that actually say they go back to prison because they have nothing better out here for them.
Exactly.
Which is crazy.
And that's like you said. There's two parts to that. One, you could either just be a fucked up person. You want to do that, or you just have nowhere to go. So,
like sleeping in the jail cell might be better than sleeping in if you're homeless in Boston or Maine in the winter.
Do you feel like the question of punishment or rehabilitation has different answers depending on class, gender, race?
Nah. Or I want to say no. But I mean, if there's...
I feel like it absolutely does.
Wait, you ask me if it right now it does or it should?
Oh, like right now, if it does.
Oh, 100%, yeah. 100%,
oh, okay.
No, if you ask me if it should,
it definitely should.
We're talking about if it should work or if it should be that type of thing.
If it should, the question of should it? No. But right now,
100% it does though.
Right.
So
I'm thinking of who was it that woman, that actress who had the college scam, right?
Lori, Laughlin or
whatever
that
woman's sounds familiar. Whatever that woman's name is.
The freaking Full House lady. I think it was Becky or some shit.
She was like hundreds of thousands of dollars in bribery, and she got 3 months, right? Upper class white lady, 3 months in jail for a lot of damage.
Yeah.
One woman lied about her address so that her son could get better education.
The Ohio woman. I think her last name was McDowell.
Yes.
Something like that. But I know you're talking about.
She lied about her address so that her son would get a better education at a public school. And she got 5 years.
Yeah.
So one of them was clearly meant to be punished, and one was clearly meant to be rehabilitated and taught her lesson. And I feel like that has a lot to do with class mostly, because if you can pay for a good lawyer, you're not gonna get. You're gonna get a slap in the wrist.
100%. I mean, but we can dive into the court system because I feel like a lot of that responsibility is on the court system itself rather than they're intertwined, obviously.
Right.
Court system and trials and punishments and mandatory minimums will be a whole different lens for this similar topic. But I feel, for the most part, we know what's going on. You got bread, you white.
So it's not like the system doesn't know how to use prison for rehabilitation. They just choose who they want to rehabilitate or who they want to punish. I mean,
you're Brock Turner. You rape a woman unconscious in like an alleyway or like wherever it was, and some guy finds you doing it, and then it's like, hey. Oh,
you get less time than someone with marijuana.
I don't want to ruin this kid's life. He has his whole life ahead of him. He's just going to swim for Stanford.
Yep. So you find a 16-year-old kid with some marijuana on him, and he gets 3 years tried as an adult.
It's like, you know what's going on.
It's
we know what's going on. But
I just want to bring attention to the fact that we know how to use prison for rehabilitation.
I don't know if we know how to use it. I know we think it's an option though.
No, we know how to use prison as rehabilitation. We know that if we want people to get better, we either don't send them to prison or we send them for a little bit of time and give them these things. We know.
I think it's just like a slap on the wrist. Like, oh, hey, it's just like what the hell's it? What the hell's like 3 months gonna do for that woman? Or like she might be like, so it's like, where's her rehab then? You know what I'm saying? There's no rehab there. You just got 3 months.
The public embarrassment. Well, now I know what I did was wrong. I did
what any mother would do and try to get their kids to the best school possible.
Whatever bullshit excuse it was, the fact that it blew up in her face and she got sent to jail in theory and name, that could be what they think is enough to teach her a lesson.
I mean, maybe. I'm not buying it. I think they just gave her a slap on the wrist, just like, hey, do this time, you're out of here. You'll keep your money.
Do you think she's going to do it again? No.
I mean, she probably won't go back to jail.
Yeah. I don't think she.
But I don't call that rehab.
I don't think she's very dissuaded.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
For 3 months, I wouldn't be dissuaded for anything. If I had to go to prison for 3 months so that my kid could go to college for free, I'd pay that.
What if Endgame was coming out?
I'd pay that.
Endgame?
Yeah.
Like first night?
Yeah. I'll go to prison for 3 months
you come out
and miss Endgame so that my child could go to college for free.
You come out in 3 months though, and it's not in movie theaters no more.
That's fine. I just saved at least $200,000, bro.
Been waiting for this movie for 10 years, bro.
That's fine.
10 years.
I'm good. I'm good. Endgame is not gonna keep me out of prison.
Anyways, man. Only question I have for y'all this week is: should prison be punishment or rehabilitation?
And what is your perfect mixture of the two? You would think. Should we give him a scenario? Let's give him your scenario. Someone wakes up, they murder someone on a whim. They're like, he pissed me off. I want to kill him. What do we do with this person? How do we transform this person into a productive member of society?
Man,
is 15 years enough? Do we need more? Let us know what you think. Comment down below. This has been the Opinion Factory podcast. Share with your friends if you enjoyed this episode. Share with your family. We really appreciate that.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Find us on Apple, Stitcher, YouTube, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Share with your friends, family, and we'll see y'all
next week.